Hello, you dirty little boys. Are you interested in my body? Wash? Well, you can't have it.
Let's sit with that. Not as a cultural hot take, but as a business model. Because when women's empowerment is wrapped in brand guidelines, curated storytelling, and fancy lights, it's safe, it's commercial, it's scalable. There's a system in place. Agencies, advertisements, executives, all pulling revenue and ROI from the same imagery. Consider for a second that empowerment is not just a message, it's a revenue stream engineered for someone else. But the moment that a woman claims full authorship of her image, her product, her sexuality, without the layers of corporate mediation, that's exactly when the pitchforks come out. Sydney Sweeney did not suggest a metaphor. She sold literal bathwater, listed it, collected it, moved the units. No middlemen, no distributors, no agency cuts. And people lost it. This is disgusting. She sets feminism back. She can't come back from this. But let's break that down. For decades, corporations have monetized women's bodies, their presence, their aesthetics. And they did this on billboards, in trailers, on social media. That's been the formula for years. But when the asset becomes the operator, that really screws up the whole system, doesn't it? That's what triggered the outrage. It wasn't a question of ethics. It was a question of who owns the channel. Sydney didn't just use the channels, she circumvented it. She spotted the demand in the audience comments and she executed it. That's real-time product market fit. And here's the kicker. She removed the barriers to purchase. And at the end of it all, she got paid. The backlash wasn't about the soap, it wasn't about the standards, it was about autonomy at scale. She made a move that the system could not monetize, so it tried to discredit her. But it's too late. She didn't just sell novelty, she sold a narrative. And that narrative was, I don't need permission to fulfill my own demand. This was no accidental virality. This wasn't chaos. This was a controlled asset deployment. Strategic, deliberate, and most importantly, self-owned. She didn't even flinch. She stepped out and she said, yes, this was my idea. Why did she do that? Because the heat was the plan. When most brands are obsessed over A/B testing and the colors and the buttons and the calls to action and everything else, Sydney bypassed all of that. I wanted to sell my bathwater, she said. So what? The real play is not the product, the quality of the product, the execution of the marketing. It is the narrative that you control. If you dominate the narrative, you don't just own mindshare, you own market behavior. Here is the new playbook. Don't run away from controversy, operationalize it. If you can learn how to frame the outrage, you can turn friction into fuel. You can monetize noise. That's not chaos, it's tactical leverage. And if you understand how modern platforms process virality, you'll know that outrage performs. Division in ideologies get engagement, and engagement makes you popular, it sells products, it builds demand. This wasn't a brand fire, it was a fireworks show. And the results speak louder than any think piece. That's the formula, that's the new market. You don't wait for acceptance, you don't chase approval, you control the frame. And when you control the frame, you own the reaction. Her fans joked, they created memes, but they begged for her bathwater. Most brands would ignore it. They would try to react to it or they would bury it. Not Sydney. One of her previous Dr. Squash ads showed her in a bathtub. That visual hit the algorithm and her fan base did the rest. Thousands of people, literally, in the comment section asking for the product. And instead of deleting, instead of reframing, she said, okay, let's give them the product. That's real-time audience monetization. That's the kind of brand agility that you can't teach at marketing school or business school because it requires speed, context, agility, and respectfully, it requires a lot of balls. Speaking of balls, here is the real power move. She did not shame the audience for the ask. She did not tone police or distance herself with irony. She said, "You want it? Okay, it's $8 a bar." And the result was the fact that every customer did not just feel like they were buying a product or they were getting a product, they were buying a piece of that moment. A wink from the creator, a one-line joke turned into a product. This is called conversion through intimacy. That's the holy grail of direct-to-consumer right now. Make it personal, make it limited, make it viral. That's how you hijack your own brand story. And most companies miss this. So now, we are e-commerce experts, right? Let's look past the story and look at the real numbers. It's 5,000 units, $8 a piece, sold out in minutes. Right now, it's reselling on eBay for $700 a pop. Nearly 1 million people entered a giveaway so that they could grab a bar of soap with 1 drop of bathwater. No promo code, no bundle offer, just pure virality. Sydney didn't have to worry about CPM, CPA, or ROAS benchmarks. She just did what she was supposed to do. And she created a zero-cost firestorm that outperformed million-dollar campaigns by the same people that are those middlemen, by those same corporations. Here is what most people miss. The internet does not reward nuance, it rewards extreme. The feed does not care if it's too much. It cares if it gets attention. Outrage is not a PR problem anymore, it's a growth lever. So the question is, was it worth it? You think that outrage hurts brands? Think again. In today's celebrity economy, attention is the product and the shock is the distribution. Everybody's launching something, a fragrance, a skincare line, a tequila brand. The market is saturated with polished packaging, exact same execution, and it's kind of getting a little old. So in the midst of all of this, how do you really stand out? You don't go louder, you go weirder. You can't just show up, you have to disrupt the feed. You have to change the rules. And that's exactly what this campaign did.